You have decided that you're launching an NFT project. And if you watched the previous episode, you have also verified that it might be financially viable for you. What next? Now it's time to answer a crucial make or break type of question. Why should people care about your NFT? To be able to succeed long term, a good NFT project needs at least a few reasons why people should want it or care about it. In this episode, I will list as many of those reasons as possible with examples. So, let's get to it. Hey, I'm Radek, a developer advocate at QuickNode, and now let's dive into those reasons. Reasons why people should care fall into three broad categories: values, art, and utility. Let's start with values, because without it, there is no chance to have a long-term successful project. Values, in turn, are divided into a few loosely based subcategories: people, transparency, vision, and roadmap. And let's start with people. So the first answer that you have to know is, who will you be launching for? Who are your people? Who will be buying your NFT? Who will be finding value in your NFT? What do they value? What's important for them? And how can you get their attention? How can you get to them? And once you have their attention, how can you get and earn their trust? So these are the questions that you need to figure out before anything else. If you have a fantastic product, but you cannot get to people, you cannot show the project so that they're even aware of it, then it will fail. So you will need the group of people, your people, that will want and value what you present, and then earn their trust. The next value is transparency. So what level of transparency will you choose? You can choose two options, but don't go too far into any of those. Because if you choose too much transparency, you basically guarantee no surprises. It's easy then for people to lose interest long term. There are no big price jumps because traders love ambiguity, they thrive on it, and they can trade on it. So too much transparency can be a bad thing. On the other hand, too little transparency, and it's easy to lose trust. People do not know what's going on, people do not know what to expect, and there is not much that can keep people interested. As for the long-term vision, you need to show a long-term plan, a greater vision than something that is good for minting, like giving a few reasons why you should mint. But what next? What happens like a month from minting, 3 months from minting, 5 years from minting? So instead of communicating and showing value in terms of weeks and months, think how you can provide value and show that value in terms of years or even decades if you want to have a long-term successful project. Roadmap. Roadmap is very controversial topic in NFTs. The first question is to have or not to have. So in the first big wave of NFTs, there were no roadmaps. It was a new thing. People just were creating NFTs and selling them. And the novelty of it was the whole concept and the whole value of it. In the second big wave of NFTs, which was like 2021, the project started to have very detailed roadmaps showing a lot of stages, promising a lot. And when those projects started to build and deliver, it turned out that too often the direction may change and the first promised roadmap may not make sense anymore, even for the good of a project, but you've already made the promise. So what to do now? Do you keep the promise, but you are then distracted from the new direction that you know is good for you? Or do you break the promise and you go all in into the new direction, but then you can lose trust of people that believed in your roadmap and believed in what you promised? For example, this is the first version of like version 1.1 of one of the largest NFT projects, Cool Cats. And as you can see, there is a lot here and very specific things. But now you can't even find this on their website. And the new version of the roadmap is more conceptual. So this is the new one. There are some things here, but without a promise of like, is it Q1, Q2, Q4? Not too many details as well, not like in the first version. So conceptually, you show the direction, but you don't overpromise and you don't give too many details so that people don't get too attached to those details. For the newer project like Azuki, this is their whole roadmap, which is not even called roadmap anymore. This is a mind map, and it shows the direction, but again, not promising the timelines, not promising the details, showing what the project is about and where they want to take it, but not promising the absolute details of it all. The dangers of a promise is that you can lose trust of people who believed in your promises, even if you're doing the right thing to change direction. And the danger of promising too little is that there is nothing to look forward to. So why should I buy this NFT? One important thing about roadmaps, if your NFT is all about art, art does not need a roadmap. Art has value in itself. So transitioning to art, this is the second big category of why people should care about your NFT. There are different kinds of NFT art, and some of the broader categories is PFP, which is profile picture, generative art, photos, and there is a lot of other smaller subcategories as well. In terms of profile picture types of NFTs, there are illustration, pixel art, and 3D rendering. The most common and the best known is illustration type of art. So, for example, bored apes, doodles, cool cats, and one of the reasons and one of the values that people buy these NFTs is definitely art. By definition, these are profile pictures. So if you want to identify with your profile picture, you need to like it. And that's why people buy. Azuki is also a good example of such a project. The next type of art is pixel art. And here's an OG of NFTs, which is CryptoPunks, one of the first and definitely one of the best known in the industry. Another example of pixel art is Cyberkongs, another one of the OGs in the industry. And more recent example of pixel art NFT is Moonbirds. Another type of PFP art is 3D. The main value proposition here is that it's not only a profile picture, but it's also a digital asset. These are more like social avatars that you can use as an avatar in different virtual worlds in the metaverse. It's not just a simple profile picture, it's the whole 3D model that you can then use in different worlds. Meebits is another example of such an avatar. Other than PFP, generative art is another big category of NFTs. In short, generative art is a type of art that does not get drawn by the artist. The artist creates an algorithm, gives some direction, gives some pieces of artwork, and just more or less with that algorithm describes where should the algorithm go and what should it do. And then the algorithm goes and creates the final artwork, the final multiple pieces of artwork. You can have a look at artblocks.io for a lot of collections of generative art. But a few of the best known are Chromie Squiggle, one of the first big ones. Fidenza by Tyler Hobbs is one of my favorite ones. Another one is Ringers. Another whole different category of NFT art is photos, and that can be anything. You can sell photos one by one. One photo is one NFT and there can never be more. Or you can sell limited editions, like for example, one photo is 10 different NFTs. Or you can have multiple items of each photo, but still a limited number. There could be thousands of different photo collections, but one of the better knowns, at least recently, is Where My Vans Go. There could also be other kinds of art like videos or music, but I won't be focusing on these right now. The last big category of reasons why people should care about your NFT is utility. This is one of the most hotly debated and controversial topic in all of NFT. What is being debated is not just the kind of utility and what utility should NFTs provide, but also should NFTs even have a utility or not. The argument goes that NFTs need to have utility as a reason to exist. But if that's the case, then it undermines the argument that the NFTs have intrinsic value in and of themselves. And without that intrinsic value, the NFTs are just a vessel for utility. One of the center tenets of NFTs is that they're unique, scarce, digital assets. You buy them with the understanding of that value, be it a profile picture, a piece of art, or a photo. And utility is on top of that value, not instead of it. Demanding utility out of every NFT is like saying that digital assets themselves are worthless. Expectations that every NFT, regardless of its type, will unlock a token, a passive staking income, play-to-earn functionality, free and valuable airdrops is what kills the value for these NFTs in the long term, because it's not just unrealistic, but it doesn't make sense. Next is upfront utility and promised future utility. So up until recently, most of the projects had utility that was promised in the future. So buy this NFT and you will get access to something which we will build in the future. You will have some airdrops in the future that will be valuable. You will have X, Y, and Z that will happen later. And because it was so easy to create NFTs and still is, it's also easy to make promises. Because of that, and because it's not easy to build things and to deliver what you have promised, many projects didn't deliver. Some maybe never even planned to deliver. So now what happens more and more often is that NFTs start with upfront utility. So when you buy an NFT or even mint an NFT, you already get utility, or at least a big part of utility, with a promise of more in the future, but you don't wait for it. This way, it's easier to persuade people to buy your NFT rather than just make empty promises, which worked in the past, but not as well now. There are loads of types of utility and loads of examples, so let's have a look at the major ones. The first and the most obvious one is art as utility. You like what you see, you want to own it, and you buy it. And that's a utility in its own for you. For example, cryptocurrency is such a type of utility and project. Another example could be generative type of art, like ringers, for example, mentioned already before. If you like it, you want to own it, that's the main utility and value for you. Another large use case and utility type is membership. And this can be something simple, like access to Discord for a specific community, or so-called alpha groups where members share inside knowledge about anything really, could be NFTs or anything else. And membership also can be tied to different types of NFTs as part of their value. So for example, Bored Apes, when you own an ape, you get access to a special type of merchandise. You can attend special real life events and get access to other special content. available only to members. Another good example is VFriends. It's a project by Gary Vaynerchuk, and as you can see, art is probably not its main value, but Gary offers special interactions with him to those who hold specific types of NFTs. It could be, for example, dinners or anything else. There are different kinds of NFTs with different benefits. For example, it could be group access, one-on-one time with Gary, a competition, or even a scholarship. Another membership type of project is Proof Collective. There are only 1,000 of them. And as they state, they are for dedicated NFT collectors and artists. Membership includes access to private Discord, in-person events, but also, for example, very valuable airdrops. For example, by owning a Proof Collective NFT, you could mint a Moonbird's owl, which was worth thousands or tens of thousands of dollars at the moment of minting. But this utility and benefit comes at a price, and a rather high price in this case. The next big type of utility is token as a ticket. In this case, it's more of a promise of utility rather than a realized one. Ticketmaster is unfortunately still doing quite well, but I think it's only a matter of time until a big player in this area emerges and takes over the market. To show what's possible, Tomorrowland is a Belgian electronic dance music festival. They sell tickets as NFTs, and they're providing a lot of value for NFT holders. They will eventually have 3 NFT collections, and each one has its own benefits. They have dropped collection number 1 already. You can access secret shows, access to library. The second collection launches in a couple of weeks. They have the whole page of utility for NFT holders. And when you collect all 3 NFT collections, you have additional benefits. You assemble the so-called Medallion. You then have a permanent ticket allow list for all Tomorrowland events and much, much more. So there are endless things that you can do with tickets. You can also solve the problem of scalping tickets, but there is still no big player that can take over the market. There are just small individual players like Tomorrowland that are doing very interesting things. Another big category, and also a much hyped one, is play to earn. Play to earn is a little bit tricky. It has a complicated economy, and it needs a complicated economy to be successful. So first of all, it usually combines NFTs and also a token as an in-game currency for it to make sense. But then it very much depends on tokenomics for the game to be successful long-term. For example, Axie Infinity was a wildly successful play-to-earn game, which was great for players at the beginning, but due to very inflationary tokenomics, players that earned at the beginning whatever they earned was worth much less a few months after they started playing. So at some point it was not worth playing anymore. So all play-to-earn games need to solve that problem if they do not want to be projects that live for a few months and then die off. Axie Infinity is already implementing some projects and tokenomics solutions that might address this issue, but that's ongoing. One of the very few big projects that already have a game is Cool Cats. They have their Cooltopia, where you can play, go on adventure, go on epic quests, and they are working on the second game already. Another interesting play-to-earn project is Crypto Raiders. For a long time, they seemed like they have solved the tokenomics problem, and the value of their NFTs and their token was stable or growing. But due to recent bear market, it has also dropped. But it's worth watching what they're doing and learning from it. Treeverse is a play-to-earn project that is not live yet and probably will not be live at least until the end of this year. But what they're doing is what every play-to-earn project should be doing from the very beginning, which is to make a game that is fun to play. and only then have that to earn element to it, not the other way. And because it takes multiple years to make a good massive multiplayer online game, that's what Treeverse is doing, and they are not launching a simplified project. They are focusing on launching version 1, which will be fun to play with the whole economy, with the whole tokenomics, with the whole to earn element on top. And because they launched 3 different NFT collections for 3 different elements of the game, they have raised enough to build for a year or for a few years or for however long it needs to build a good game, and they intend to launch only when they are ready. And this is how every play-to-earn game should be if they don't want to end up just a quick cash grab that dies off after a few months. Next example is NFT as a community access token. It's similar to the membership type, but here the community is the main value. An example could be an already mentioned Proof Collective, but an even better example would be 2 collections by Zeneca, which is Zen Academy Genesis and Zen Academy 333. Both are very similar in concept. The only difference is the level of access and a subset of the community. And this is the whole value proposition for Zen Academy Genesis. It's a lifetime membership to Zen Academy. And it's a perfect example not just of a membership NFT, but also of how the roadmap may look or how the lack of roadmap may look. So the only promise that it makes is that it's just a Discord server, and that it may only ever be a Discord server. And this letter from Zeneca is the only promise and the only roadmap that there is. The rest is a community in Discord. But of course, from the moment of minting, Zeneca provided much, much more value than just access to Discord, which is already valuable. Otherwise, this project would not be worth 10 times more than at the moment of minting. Zeneca is one of the major figures in the NFT world, and he shares all the knowledge, all the connections, and everything that he knows with his communities. Another utility example that is important for some is intellectual property rights. When you purchase the NFT, you get all the property rights to that specific NFT item. You can do whatever you want with it. You can create a trademark with it. You can launch merchandise. You can have it as a separate brand. It's all yours. You own the property rights. For example, when you purchase a Bored Ape, you get all the intellectual property rights to this specific ape, and you can do whatever you want with it. You can create a golden ape brand if you wanted to. But with this type of utility, and actually with any type of utility, you need to keep in mind that times can change and what people value can also change. And if, for example, just a year ago, to have the intellectual property rights to the NFT was an important trend, and some people did a lot of good with it and launched their brands on top of that. But for the vast majority of people, they never cared about it and never will. So, like mentioned at the beginning, you need to know your people, you need to know what's important to them, you need to know what they value or what they don't value. If they don't value something, don't promise it to them because it will not make a difference. Another very interesting utility type is proof of knowledge or proof of achievement, or even like a kind of on-chain diploma of sorts. So for example, if you are learning or building a project, for every section that you learn, for every part that you build, or for every achievement that you get, you can earn an NFT. And while each one of them may be not that specifically very valuable, when you get a lot of them, it builds your profile, it builds your proof of knowledge, proof of achievement, and it's better, more valuable, and more verifiable than any CV or whatever you can write on LinkedIn. Rabbit Hole is a good example for such a project. It's for crypto beginners. You learn how to do certain tasks in crypto, and as you complete those tasks, you can collect the NFTs, and you not just learn new and valuable skills, you also get proof that you have learned it. BuildSpace is another example. It combines a few different utilities. So first you get projects that you can build, Web3 projects that you can ship. As you build every project, you get an NFT for that specific project, and you build up your profile. As you build more and more projects, you get more and more NFTs, and this is your kind of online CV. I need to fill out mine because I have earned multiple NFTs from BuildSpace, at least 6. These are in my wallet right now. I need to add them to the online profile. And each of these NFTs means that I have built something. I have built my own DAO. I have built an NFT collection on Solana. I have built an NFT game. And this is on-chain proof of my knowledge and my achievement that I have done that. But this is only part of utility of BuildSpace. Once you have this profile filled, you can start looking for interesting projects or interesting companies to work with. And as you introduce yourself, the companies can see your profile, can see what you have built, can see what you know. And this makes the whole process of verifying easier and faster. Same goes for the companies that look for people to help building. They can easily filter and contact only those who have verifiable skills. Another very interesting example of proof of knowledge is what Patrick Collins is doing with his 32-hour Solidity and Blockchain learning course. It's free, it's on YouTube, it's 32 hours, this is 107, it's 1 day, 7 hours and 54 minutes and 30 seconds. And as you go through this 32-hour course, you get small QR codes from time to time. There are 5 in total, which then lead you to increasingly difficult tasks to complete. As you complete each one of them, you get an NFT, and when you finish the course and solve all the tasks, you get 5 NFTs. Currently, there is only a handful of people that have all 5 of them, probably less than 10 at the moment. I still haven't finished the course. I'm about 2/3 through, and I have collected 3 of them. 2 more are still ahead of me. And if you are a company or a project or a person and researching someone you potentially want to work with, and you see all 5 of this kind of NFTs in their wallet, you can verifiably see that it's them who minted those NFTs, and you can be almost 100% sure that they know their stuff. Next utility example is important for some, especially for people who buy NFTs for their art. Could be high quality image assets, for example, for printing, for wallpapers, for whatever else you might want. You have a high quality print on your wall or on your phone of your favorite NFT that you own. That's another utility for you. And then after that, there could be a lot of utilities. Like there is a current trend of X to earn, anything to earn, like walk to earn, which is example steppen.com, where you buy an NFT, like buy shoes. And once you buy the shoes NFT, you can start walking, and then it tracks you how much you walked through your phone, how many miles or kilometers, and as you walk, you earn their token. Then you can sell the token, trade it, do anything else with it. And these are the major utility types and examples, but there are countless others. could be a proof of patronage where you are rewarded by being an early supporter with revenue or other benefits. There are programmable NFTs where collectors can change the NFTs themselves. Could be art, could be music, could be profile pictures. There could be hybrid projects that combine a lot of different utilities. For example, Rootroop is such a project. First of all, it's a PFP project. So you can use it as your profile picture, but then you get access to a lot of tools. Could be NFT rarity tools. Then you get the whole tokenomics. You can stake those NFTs. You can earn utility tokens. You can have access to giveaways, but also they're building an on-chain job marketplace where your proof of knowledge and proof of experience would be taken to the next level and all verifiable. Or you could build the whole social graph or another Twitter or another Facebook based on NFTs. Like Lens Protocol, for example, is such an example. You can have your profile here and treat it as a platform, build anything else you want on top of it. And you can go on and on and on with different utility examples. It could be rights, it could be physical goods, it could be land, which probably is years and years ahead, but still very possible. It could be anything. But in order for the project to succeed, you need a combination of different kinds of utility. Probably the more the better, but there is also a limit of how many kinds of utility you can fit into one NFT and still not sound crazy. So let's sum up now. Why should anyone care about your NFT? First, you need to focus on people. You need to know your people. You need to know what they value. You need to know how to access them. You need to know how to get their attention, how to keep their attention, how to earn their trust, and how to keep their trust. Then you decide on the combination of provided utility. One kind of utility is not enough. Have a combination of a few, which are strong ones, which can last years, and then focus on that. Show vision and direction. So, as I said, focus on years, not on weeks or months. While showing the vision, don't overpromise, don't trap yourself into too many details, too ambitious roadmap. Give yourself space to change direction and to do what's best for your community without losing their trust. Also, keep the community engaged, keep their good as the number one goal and value. Never lose their trust, and it will translate into the value of your NFT, your project, and your financial success as well. And that's why people should care about your NFT project.